First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of the group practice today, the medicine Tathagata of the Eastern Lapis Lazuli realm. Simu, Danzen Gyatso, all the Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, and directors of temples and chapters, and all participating disciples here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are the Taipei rep to Sweden and Norway's Ambassador Tongzhou Liao's wife, Dharma Sister Judy, and the PR director of the Taiwan Lijiang Temple, Dharma Brother Fermi Wong, Dharma Sister Janet Su, good evening everyone, how do you do? Medicine. So today we had the group practice of medicine Tathagata. By Saya Guru. And the name of medicine guru, he made the vows that he's able to help sentient beings to alleviate the illnesses of the body and the mind. So he's able to cure the sicknesses of the body and mind. So it means that anytime the sentient beings have illnesses, that the medicine Buddha is able to help them. So right now, the coronavirus outbreak that caused pneumonia in China, that here we also pray to the medicine Tathagata that he's able to help to stop the coronavirus outbreak. I personally feel that although the medical field in this world is very progressive, but I personally feel that in this progressive medical sciences, they are able to cure many illnesses, but in reality they are still illnesses that they cannot cure. So the small ailment of cold. But when we have influenza, then that would be terrible. So last month, for the whole month, now we just look at the Seattle temple here. So during the seasonal flu, it's like almost everyone, including the permanent residents as well as the temporary residents, or even the visitors, or the fellow disciples from faraway places, they all got sick. Almost every one of them got sick, big and small cases. From the abbot, Master De Hui, and even Grandmaster a little bit, the germs got into my body too. And as I told you, I didn't take any medicine. I just relied on drinking the wine, a little bit of alcohol to counter it and overcome it. Mine was simple, but some people had to stay in bed for a few days. Like Master Hui Jun, who was from Taiwan. When you just got here, on the third day, she was in bed for how many days? But I did come to work, so you're infecting us. So 3 days after coming from Taiwan, she got sick. So from the New Year up till now, so this is the B virus influenza. So every time the medical field would guess whether the influenza, the seasonal flu would be A virus or B virus, and if they predict it wrong, then that would be horrible for the vaccinations. So germs and viruses are really horrible these days. So China is a huge country, like America also has a huge land. But with the virus outbreak, then the whole country then the economy slowed down. The production line all got stopped. So please don't undermine this virus or this bacteria or germs. although the whole economy, the global economy has been affected. At that time, during the Chinese New Year, we did not know about this virus outbreak. And the talk show host asked Grandmaster to give a score for the global economy. And I give 20, the score of 20, just 20, 20 out of 100. I never give a score as low as 20 before. Usually at least 50 or 60, never 20 for the whole global economy. So during the interview, I give the score for the whole the global economy for all the different countries of 20, just 20, a score of 20. So now with this coronavirus outbreak, so the economy of the whole world now has been chopped off. So it's a question whether we are able to stop it. I often have this thought in my brain, like when we tried to save the forest fire, they use helicopters or airplanes and then to sprinkle water to extinguish the fire. So why can't we use airplanes for the virus? Why can't they spray something to eradicate the virus? Don't we have medicines to kill all the virus? Look at everybody is fighting to buy alcohol, face mask, tissue papers. I don't know why people do that. They're in a panic. And they bought all the products, especially face masks, or in America too. Like in Seattle, I never wore a mask here. Not many people wear masks unless they have a cold or something. But if you want to buy face mask here, you cannot find it. It's also quite hard to buy face masks here in Seattle. This Thursday, last Thursday, I went to the Overlake Hospital. I had the blood test. And I saw at the hospital that I went, the Overlake Hospital, and saw that they put a lot of face masks there. So when I saw all those face masks, I thought, but people cannot buy it. So there's a note that if you cough, please wear this mask. But I wasn't coughing. So I didn't want to get one. But they prepare a stack of masks there. And also for the hand wash, disinfectant. Or if you cough and you get to the hospital, you can wear it. And there was camera and you're not coughing and you take a mask and you put it in your pocket and you're not wearing it, then you're stealing a mask. So I didn't dare to take any. But you cannot buy any. And it's expensive. So this is the situation of the economy. So for all businesses, as long as we have an outbreak or epidemic, then everything will be affected, including the airlines business or the Chinese restaurants. On Sunday night, there were disciples inviting us for dinner to the Chinese restaurant, and only us were there. But so strange. It's not here, but how come there are no businesses in the restaurants and nobody went to the movie theater? And nobody is going to the department stores? All the tour buses stopped. And the hotels business also declined. And all the businesses. And Wuhan is a large city for auto industry. Then they manufactured auto parts for or auto cars for all famous brands of cars. So food, clothing, our homes, things that we use, cars, and planes have fewer and fewer passengers. So we can say that all the different businesses are experiencing the recession. So here we pray to Medicine Tathagata that he could understand the suffering of sentient beings and can eradicate this coronavirus completely. And what I'm thinking in my brain, see, when you extinguish the forest fire, you can use the planes. So why can't we eradicate the coronavirus using some disinfectant? Like disinfect the whole city. Why can't you do such thing? We haven't heard that they use planes and disinfectant to sprinkle or to spray and disinfect the whole city. Was there such a case? Anybody knew? Did you ever check the internet? Yes, there was. In China? If you can sprinkle, then all the virus got eradicated. Wouldn't that be good? I hope that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are compassionate. Otherwise, the economy. See, my prediction was only 20 for the whole global economy. And usually I said something like 60 or 80. 80 would have been good. 60 just passing. But 20, that's like a recession. It's like did you hear it? 20, right? It's so cold, so low. And this is the year of the rat. It's the year of chaos. Then I say that, and also economy is only 20. So this is an upheaval, a year of unrest. We pray to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to be compassionate to us, and we pray to Medicine Buddha and Medicine Tathagata, so that he can eradicate our karmic sicknesses and our karma. Let me share a joke. One time, I went to the village with my family for like marriage dating, and that village had an extreme strange custom, and they use urine to cook eggs, but I don't dare to eat it. But they were so kind and warm-hearted, and to keep asking me to eat the egg. So I didn't know how to reject it. So finally I thought of an answer and said, I don't like to eat eggs. So the host said, well, if you don't like the eggs, it's okay, just drink the soup. So customs and traditions are different for different people. I remember in Tibet, in the earliest time, there was a tradition, during the Tang Dynasty in China, from the capital Xi'an, we sent off the Princess Wenceng to Tibet to have an intercultural marriage. This is the kingdom of the Tang Dynasty, and there are many small countries around it. And in order to maintain good relationship with these small countries, they let the princess to be married to the local kings. So they sent off the Princess Wenceng to Tibet, and it was called Tubo at that time. And in the movie, there was this thing that she got married there, and when they were dining, they ate champa. Champa is like a barley flour, and then you knead it with tea and butter, and then you eat it, and that's like their main meal. So their custom is different than China. And they also eat the beef liver, the raw liver, and slice it with blood dripping, and to eat it raw. And Princess Wenceng was the same too after she went there. So the raw beef liver with the fresh blood dripping liver, that just cut, and they just took it by hand and ate it. And when Princess Wenceng saw that, she didn't dare to. But the Empress Dowager, like the mother-in-law, the king's mother, asked her to eat it. And as a daughter-in-law, she had to eat it. And after she took a bite, she went to the toilet and vomited it. So there was such a story. So that joke could be true. So in the Chinese medicine, that the urine of a baby, it's called the returning dragon water. It's the name of medicine to detox. So this time, with the coronavirus, perhaps it can be cured by drinking the baby's urine, because it is to dispel toxins. I don't know. So if you're infected by virus, so it had to be a baby boy, and to take the urine, not the beginning part, not the ending part, but just the middle part, like a baby boy. I mean, baby toddler children. So I cannot recommend it because, well, everybody will take it. So during that time in Tibet, what they ate was very strange. You know, they kill a cow and then took the liver and everybody ate like that. So they have different customs there. So now we study the Tibetan Tantrayana, but we don't copy their diet. Now let's talk about Lamdre. Hindrances by who? So there are two: falling into filthful actions and falling into spiritual experiences. So the first one, falling into filthful actions, believing that concrete appearance is empty and acting the part of no game and play. The differentiation with the Dharma is small. And the second is falling into spiritual experiences. So no matter which Dharma is being practiced, it is likely to produce the spiritual experience of emptiness. So now I want to ask, Tanzan Katso, let me ask you. Believing that concrete experience is empty and acting the part of no game and play, and the differentiation is small. What does this mean? Let me tell you a viewpoint here. So, like now, this is all concrete experience, like human beings, cars, houses, the temple. If you believe and regard that concrete appearance is empty, please be seated, and you don't believe there are no game and play, what is that? So whatever we do, whatever actions we take, they're all part of the game and play. So the worldly eight dharma is considered to be small. Only the emptiness is big. This is also falling into the wisdom side. So it's like this. So this kind of wisdom is also a kind of mistake. It's not right. It is very difficult to explain. It's very strange, but let me tell you. According to the method of the middle way, the Madhyamaka, you should not be attached to the emptiness concept. Say, if I'm attached to the emptiness, because even teaching Dharma is just a game. It's just a play, so I don't give Dharma teaching. And it's the same with delivering sentient beings. That's just game and play, because even the sentient beings are empty. Dharma is also empty. Dharma teachings also empty. So then I don't want to give Dharma teaching, I don't want to deliver sentient beings. But according to the Madhyamaka philosophy, that you have to execute both the existence and the emptiness. Only this is the correct realization. So according to Nagarjuna Bodhisattva, so if you cultivate spiritually and you practice, and then you believe that everything is empty, there is no game and no play and you don't eat, you don't drink, and you don't move, because everything is empty anyway. If you believe this, there's no differentiation between good and bad, or heavens and hells. There's no differentiation between the Buddha and the demon or Mara. If you reach such condition, then you are falling into the wisdom, the sight of the wisdom. But according to Madhyamaka, is you have to apply or to execute both the existence and emptiness. And only then it is wisdom. Otherwise, if you consider wisdom to be emptiness too. So, as an analogy, if you go to the moon by yourself and you got onto the space shuttle and you were put there by yourself, then let me ask you, what is good, what is bad? There is no good, there is no bad. So let me ask you, what is Buddha Dharma then? Doesn't exist. Nothing exists. Then you're falling onto the side of wisdom. That's all the analogy. And the second is falling into the spiritual experiences. So no matter which dharma is being practiced, it is producing the experiences of emptiness. That's also falling into the side of wisdom. Doesn't matter which dharma you practice, it's also emptiness. So the emptiness is the biggest. So whatever you experience is just emptiness. And this is also falling onto the side of the wisdom, and this is also no good. Now let me explain on what hindrances. The verse stated, up to the celestial demon. This statement refers to two kinds of demons, internal and external. So external demons or external disturbances, and internal demon, which is the internal obscurations and hindrances. So external and internal demons. There were three people came, mom, dad, and the child. And the mom said, there's a ghost on her body. You know, she requested exorcism. You know, in Catholic they call that exorcism. And here we often chase away ghosts too. So yesterday she asked me for exorcism. When I got home at 5, I saw that person at my garage door. And there were 3 or 4 people who could not hold her down. So I chanted mantra and I tapped on her back, and she quieted down and she could get on the car and went home. How long was she at our garage door? For 2 hours. She was shouting really loudly. Did any of you see that? So, if the ghost came from outside into her, that's called the external demons. if it's generated by her own mind, we call that as the inner demon. That's the difference between outer and inner demons. So, celestial demon, that's the worst kind of demon, the celestial demon. Like anyone that's about to have attainment, including Sakyamuni Buddha under the Bodhi tree, when he was to have attainment, the celestial demon would distract and hinder him. So celestial demon is considered external demon or outer demon. And inner demon is produced by your own mind. So the yidams too, sometimes they are from outside, sometimes are produced internally. Like every night or last night, for example, Amitabha Buddha was standing right in front of my eyes. He came from outside, so that's an external Buddha. And then the Buddha disappeared and I became Amitabha Buddha myself. That's the self-generated Amitabha Buddha. So outer generated and self-generated. So I myself have become Amitabha Buddha. So I'm in union with Amitabha Buddha already. These are all very profound and deep. Let me share a joke. Xiaobao said, my dad is the captain of the ship. All the members of the ship would have to listen to my dad. And Xiaohua said, that's no big deal. My dad is the boss. That everybody in his company has to listen to him. And Xiao Ying said, my dad is even more incredible. If I asked someone to sit, nobody dared. Or if someone to ask him to look down, nobody dared to look up. And so they asked Xiao Ying, so what is your dad? Oh, he's a barber. Generally speaking about demon, it is of extreme deep and profound. Like what was transmitted earlier, Ishi Chogal, prior to her attainment, she also had to go through the tests of the celestial demon. The same with Sakyamuni Buddha and Milarepa. They were all tested by the celestial demon. Before attainment, you will encounter a huge test like that. Next is the when hindrances. When the hindrances occur, the period of the three accumulations. What is that? Anyone? Anyone know it? Anyone knows it? The period of three accumulations. any of the masters, any of the reference? You're checking your cell phones? Is it on your cell phone? How come it's not here on mine? Oh, it's okay. You know it. So I don't need to talk about it then. Hindrances on what? It refers to the four kinds of hindrances at the initial stage of aerial accumulation. The hindrances generated are of spiritual experiences and suffering. And during the middle stage, it's the hindrances of the appearances of the body and speech. And at the latter stage, it's the hindrances of the transformation of the ground of realization as the main goal. These are all based on the importance to be classified as big and small. This is very difficult to explain, right? So, the hindrances that occurred in the period of the three accumulations, the initial accumulation, the middle, and the latter. So, when you meditate, can you sit in a lotus position? Can you sit in the Vajra posture? The Vajra crossed legs? If you have longer legs, then you can. But if your legs are short, then you cannot fold them in the double lotus position. Especially for the elderly, when they're stiff, they cannot do it in a double lotus. They can just do it single lotus. But it doesn't matter which position. If you sit for a long time, you would feel the pain, right? That is the hindrances. So that's the hindrances during the initial stage. Like if you say that you want to meditate for half an hour, but when you fold your legs in a double lotus position, quickly you feel the numbness, the pain, then that's the hindrances during the initial stage of the accumulation. And then during the middle age is the hindrances of the appearances of body and speech. When you enter into meditation, you would have a certain sensation. For example, some people would feel numb all over their head. Some people, they would feel as if ants are crawling all over their bodies. They would have such feelings that the ants are crawling all over, and they would feel itchy. So you have different sensations on your body. This kind of things occur during the middle stage. So the body hindrances, and sometimes after you sit for a period of time, you have no sense of taste, or you have no more saliva. So then you want to chant mantra and you cannot. So this kind of hindrances can occur. So that's the hindrances of the body and the mouth or the speech. And during the latter stage, it's the hindrances of the transformation of the ground of realization. So at the latter stage, you will see something, you will see lights, or you see the yidam, or you feel that your body has changed. You would also have, or you would feel like you've become as huge, as tall as Mount Sumeru. That's the phenomena of the earth. You would become as tall as Mount Himalaya. Or you would feel like you're floating in the whole universe. That's the hindrances of the earth, like feeling as tall as Himalayas. Or your body is floating in the space when you're meditating. That's the hindrances of the wind, created by the wind. And your thoughts appeared and filled the whole space. That's the hindrances caused by the water. All the things of the past appeared. That's the hindrances of the water. And sometimes you feel there's fire all over your body burning you, or the whole world becomes fire. That's the hindrances of the fire. These four kinds of hindrances will appear. So this is the hindrances of the transformations of the ground of realization of the main goal. So these are based on the importance to be classified as big and small. So sometimes even at the initial stage, you can transform it so all your visions would appear. This is also a kind of hindrance. So what we discussed today was all very deep and profound. So this is talking about the epidemic. When the coronavirus outbreak passes, perhaps we will have a group of overweight people because they all stuck inside. So Master Huijun would be happy. Or maybe they would have a group of skinny people because they have no appetite, because they have to stay at home every day. So there would be a group of skinny people. Or perhaps there would be a group of crazy people. Because if you isolate yourself for a long period of time, maybe you become crazy. Or you would have lots of kids because you have nothing else to do. And so when the infectious disease department has finished being busy, then there would be the psychiatric department, and then the delivery department, and then the pediatric department. And many years later, many kids would ask the dads, how come there are so many of us being born at the same period of time? And then the dads would ponder and say, it all started from a bat. Because they said that the contagions started from the bats. So this is kind of related to Lamdre. Everything has its origin. The 3-year-old son all of a sudden came to me and hugged me and said, Daddy, I'm so scared of zombie. Don't be scared, because that's not real. You know, it's a costume or cosmetic. And then the kid asked, so is that the same as mommy? You know, last night the nuns put on costumes and they all look very beautiful. But please don't be cheated, because as soon as you wash them off, they would show their true faces. The joke that I shared yesterday, so the cosmetics and the costumes yesterday was really good. Doesn't matter how ugly you are, you became a goddess. So that's why I would like to ask all the men, before you get married, you should really bring your girlfriends to swim in the swimming pool. Then they would lose their makeup and then you can see their true face. But the cosmetics can be waterproof. And second point, you can also see their figures. If they wear clothing on dates, but going swimming, she has to wear a swimsuit, then you can see her figure then. Can you make up your figure? No. The bust and the butts. And one more thing, most importantly, she will not ask you after you get married that if your mom and I both fall into the water, whom would you save first? Because she already knows how to swim. So she will not ask such a stupid question anymore. That's the key point. You know, there's so many fake news and there's so many rumors. So don't just believe it like that. You have to know we have to also, as a spiritual cultivator, we should not create rumors. And you know what level you have reached and what kind of spiritual experiences you've had and what you have seen, what visions you have, you know yourself. And are you able to hold up against what you see? Because if you're being deluded or being carried away by your visions, then you would go into the mental hospital. And then if you follow those, and then you're not in control of yourself, and you become like a mad person, and your behavior would become strange, then you would be brought into the psychiatric ward. Because everybody there could see, could hear. But the key here, are you able to control yourself? Are you able to be unmoved? And you are able to see through it, see through them, and break them. So that's why even in practicing meditation, sometimes you can fall into the demon path like that. So this is the joke of yesterday. Let me share it again. It's Valentine's Day. The husband asked the wife, "So honey, what can I send you for the Valentine's?" And the wife is like, "Oh, whatever you want to give to me, I'm really happy." But in Chinese, give and send are the same. So let me send you off to your mother's home. So this was a joke from the dinosaurs play yesterday. A rumor. Have you heard that? That in North Korea, someone was infected with coronavirus and he was walking around, went to the public bath, and he was shot to death. Is this really? It's true? It's in the news, but they're also fake news. Who knows? So, typically speaking, spiritual cultivators should have the most wisdom. We should maintain lucid wisdom. The wisdom of the Tathagata, that we are not moved by what we hear, what we see. We are in control of ourselves, and we can discern that this phenomena or this appearance, is it true or false or fake? Like the light that you see, is it the real light or the fake light? Or is it an illusion that you create yourself? So it is illusory vision or illusory hearing, and you need your own wisdom to discern and to break the hindrances. And that's also what we are talking about today. Om Mani Padme Hum.